All right, I want to talk about something today, and that is Star Wars miniatures and how they need to bring this back. First off, let me say Star Wars miniature, a product of Wizards of the Coast. Might know them from this little game. Ran from I think about 2004 to 2010. And then I think 2010 Wizards said that they weren't going to renew the license with Star Wars because I'm sure Star Wars is an expensive license to carry. It's one of the biggest IPs in the world. And 2010 is like a weird time for Star Wars because it was after the prequels, which aren't the best received, and before Disney bought Star Wars and went fucking absolutely insane with Star Wars mania. Like it was putting out Star Wars stuff and bringing it into the social zeitgeist again. So it was kind of like a quiet time. Like there was obviously still Star Wars stuff being released, like the Clone Wars animated series. I think was around then, which is like an awesome show, and some video games and stuff that were good. I'm pretty sure came out around then. I think the Unleashed games. I can't remember what the names of those are. Came out around then, but it was like a quieter time for Star Wars compared to prequel time and now time. So it kind of makes sense why Wizards dropped the license because I'm sure this game wasn't doing very well after the prequels. A couple years after the prequels were over. Man, it's a fun game. I'm gonna open the box up. It's a simple game. It's relatively simple. Now, without going into too many details on the exact gameplay mechanics of the game, the simple gist of it is you have this big board, and there's this is a hard board that came as a set. There's also like paper. There's paper maps. You can make your own maps, which is like graph paper, like you do in D&D. You have your 20-sided die, a bunch of miniatures, or not that many miniatures. I guess it depends on your collection. You don't need a lot to play, but it gets fun to collect them. It's kind of the point, especially if you're really into Star Wars lore and whatnot. And you move the characters around the grid, and you fight each other. It's like a combat game. So you put characters on the board, gridded board. You move them around, through dice rules and whatnot. And then when you get into certain ranges with certain characters, you fight your enemy troops, and you build squads based off of different classes. So there's like Republic. There's there's Empire, of course, and then there's Bounty Hunters. So those are the three main ones. I'm pretty sure. I can't remember if the CIS, there's the Rebels. So there's Rebels, there's the Empire, there's the Republic, and then there's I think a CIS. I forget what they're called. Like the droids and whatever. I'm remembering it from Battlefront. So there's five? There's five groups, and there's Bounty Hunters, which are like a neutral group. And you have miniatures of all of them, and you make groups. I don't think you can in the actual game rules mix different places. You can't. Let me fix my brightness. You can't mix Republic and you can. I think you can mix Bounty Hunters. I think Bounty Hunters might be able to go on either one since they're Bounty Hunters. I forget, but you can't mix CIS and Republic type of thing. But it's really fun because you get to collect all these different things. I mean, look at this one. This one's sick. It's just a giant fucking turret. Because I guess there were some vehicles too. I mean, this is the only one I have. It takes up 9 grid spaces. And you have tons of characters. And you got clone troopers that you can match with. Where is he? Where are you, you little bitch? There you are. With Obi-Wan Kenobi. Like from the original trilogy, you got General Grievous. And then you got some of his. That's not it. You got some of his old droid friends. Can you just focus, bro? And then you got some of his droid friends. And you have Yoda, Stormtroopers, Battle Droids, Bounty Hunters. There's this guy. He might be one of my favorites, actually. There's this chick. I forget what her name is, but she's like a bounty hunter that has dual red lightsaber things. It's pretty awesome. There's this weird dude that it's just cool. It's got the cool stuff you like about Star Wars. I like about Star Wars. It's just the weird random alien characters in this weird, crazy lived in space world, fantasy world. and you get to kind of like take all those characters and you get to see them in like figure form, and you get to play with them in games and battle your friends. And I believe it's a 1 to 4 player game. No, it's just 2 players. Okay, there goes all my stuff. So yeah, it's 1v1, which, granted, I wish there was kind of like a 4. I mean, you probably just play street rules with 4 people, but I wish there was like an official 4-player like battle system. That'd be pretty dope. But yeah, then you have like, you know, other like famous IG droids, Wookiees, etc. from all different eras. Now this thing is, so technically, let me head over to my computer. So technically, there's something called Star Wars Legion, I believe. Yeah, by Fantasy Flight Games. It's pretty much Star Wars miniatures, but a modern day version. And so this is like, it's what I was about to get to. It's the miniatures. Is this game, since, you know, stopped in 2010, these are all legends. It's not canon. I mean, obviously, I shouldn't say it's not all canon. Obviously, like the stuff based off of episodes 1, 2, and 3 and whatnot are canon, but things like that bounty hunter chick with 2 lightsabers and stuff, that stuff's not really canon anymore that I'm aware of. It's all, most of that's legends. Like there's miniatures for Luke's kids from Legends. I forget what his name is, Cal or something like that. Not that Cal, but I forget. I don't remember. I didn't pay attention to that much Star Wars stuff that much back when I was younger, like I do now. But yeah. So they make this game, and it's pretty much the same thing. I mean, it's expensive, like the old one was. I mean, starter kit's freaking $80, bro. 90 at some places. Shop Disney, yeah, okay. But it is new. So the cool thing about Legions is, like, I mean, they have like Rogue One expansions and stuff like and such like that. So it's got, you know, old trilogy. There's a new trilogy version too, a set that I saw somewhere. And like I said, I don't have it up right now, but there is a Rogue One set that I saw somewhere, like expansion. Yeah, there are some characters from Rogue One. It's cool. My one qualm was this game, and it's small qualm, really kind of stupid for how I'm complaining about. I wish Star Wars miniatures was a thing today, even since it technically is the miniatures aren't painted in Legion, which, I mean, you're paying freaking $80 for starter set. You're not even painting miniatures, which I paid so much like these starter sets cost. And I got painted miniatures with those. So they're gray miniatures that, let me see if I can pull up an image of them. They're gray miniatures that come in pieces like this. If you can kind of see that, it might be hard. My apologies. I'll try to get a better picture. And that you build together and then paint, which is how more hardcore miniature is done, like for D&D and stuff. I've watched lots of videos on it. I think it's really cool, like miniature painting. However, I don't really want to do it myself, and I hate the fact that I have to, because the idea of having like a board of that many characters, all gray, is just kind of depressing. It takes some of the fun and immersiveness out of it. But I mean, if I had to paint that many characters I just showed you in miniatures and make them look like decent, like they do over there, like, not that those are the best paint jobs in the world, but they're good, like they're solid, they're decent paint jobs, they do the job. And to like do that myself, I would be spending probably 80% of my time painting the miniatures and 20% actually playing the game, which isn't really why I want to play the game for the most part. I mean, painting the miniatures sounds fun and stuff like that, like occasionally if it's like a creative outlet and whatnot, but like I don't really want to do that like all the time for all the miniatures I get. Also, I'm just realizing this now. Does this only come with Boba Fett for fucking $10, almost $12? This shit only comes with Boba Fett, some tokens, and a couple cards. Okay, so the cards look like they're different. Okay, so this is a little different because let me go back to here for a moment. So again, like I said, you move around the map and then you fight each other. And how it works is there's character cards. And character cards have stats in the back. So, hit points 20, defense 15, attack 8, damage 20. Please don't ask me what those mean right now. It's been a while. I literally just pulled this out recently. Just because, all the new Star Wars stuff's getting me in the mood to play this again. But they also have different special abilities. So this guy, is just a clone trooper. I mean, he's an elite clone trooper, but he's just a clone trooper. So he's not going to have as much as, say, Anakin Skywalker. I mean, look at that. It's quite a fleshed out card. 120 hit points, 19 defense, 12 attack, and then he's got all these different powers. He's got twin attack. Whenever his character attacks, he makes one extra attack against the same target, which is kind of similar to a Magic the Gathering ability. I forget what it's called. Double strike or something like that. He's got force powers too, since he's a Jedi. And so this is like a commander card, I believe. So this is like, you would have like one of these, and then you'd have like a couple of these type of cards. So that's how that worked. And that's all you have with those cards in your miniatures. Seems like you have different cards. Like these are different play cards, like ability cards. Not really related to character ability, but just like related to other game. They're like outside. They're like general game-changing cards. Well, this is the actual character card. So really all you're getting, which is cool. I like that because it does add more to the game, which I think makes it more interesting. Though it also makes me wish there was more players, because games that are more involved like that, I feel like I'd want more. I want to be able to play those like 4 people. I could buy a $12 booster pack and get like 6 of those miniatures back in the day, and they're freaking colored. Now the thing is, was these gray miniatures that you paint yourself, put together, from my understanding, is they're much nicer quality in the sculpt, like significantly better sculpt, which is cool. So I guess you're getting your money's worth a little bit out of that, but I don't know, like it's just not that. It's just like something I just want to play the game and have the fun miniatures. I just don't want to go through that process of painting tons of miniatures. And also, now that I'm realizing I would spend $12 on one miniature, it makes it even less appealing. Back to the core of my rant, and to kind of wrap things up, is I want miniatures to come back because I want a Star Wars miniature game like this, like a fun battle role-playing game, like a smaller scale. There was all these miniatures to come back with all the new stuff coming out of Star Wars now. It would be so awesome. I mean, I don't like the new trilogy like at all, but there's certain characters I wouldn't mind having miniatures of, like BB-8 and such. But even things like I was just showing you, like Jedi Fallen Order, Cal Kestis, and BD-1, and what was that thing, the Shayuk, or what was it called, the Shayu from Kashyyyk, the big bird that he helped and rode, or the or any of the other characters like Seer, or anybody. It'd be awesome to have his miniatures. Mandalorian, the Mandalorian shows so good, and it does such a good job at like showing like the smaller world of Star Wars and all these kind of more like niche characters or species and stuff like that. So having like a Mandalorian, or like a whatever the chick who helped him at the end was, or the other bounty hunter guy, I don't remember any of their names for some reason, or IG-11, which, I mean, granted, I have like an IG-86 droid, and I have a card for an IG-88 droid that I don't have anymore. I also have a card for a fucking whatever these are called, the Gonk droids. Don't have them in here. I'm not sure where some of my miniatures went. Like they were stolen from me. But I would just love to see a return of this type of miniature game, just because even though it's very similar and actually less in depth, at least I can get freaking painted miniatures at a decent price and just have some fun. You know? I don't know. I really want them to bring back Star Wars miniatures, and that's just my little rant about it. There's so many new Star Wars, there's a new canon and new properties that I would love to see made into these type of miniatures that I don't have to fucking paint myself and spend $20 on one single goddamn miniature. It'd be nice to have stuff that's canon instead of all this Legends stuff. And don't get me wrong, I think the Legends is cool. I'm not like trying to shit on Legends. It's just like I want to commit to my knowledge to the real, what is considered the real canon of Star Wars right now. Even though I love like these little characters. I mean, I don't think there's any here. The little characters like Laser Chick, that they're cool, and I like that I get to like have these weird, interesting characters that you don't have in the canon right now. But at the same time, I really prefer just to have like all canon stuff this stuff I think I could see in the shows or the cartoons or movies, or stuff I have seen in the shows, the canon shows, movies, cartoons, etc. Rather than these things that are like I'll never see because they're not around anymore. Oh my god, look at her eyes. Holy shit. This woman has seen some stuff. If there's a woman, I don't even know. Yeah, it's definitely a woman. Never mind. But yeah, that's my little rant. Bring back Star Wars miniatures. It'd be dope. Let me know in the comments if you've played this game. Comment below if you played this game. And let me know what you think of it. Do you play Legions? If you see this and you play this here Legions game, let me know how it is. Cause that would be that'd be cool. It'd be interesting to see what it's like. Whoa, hold up! This comes with 39 miniatures. That's actually sick. And that makes the price slightly more understandable. Still a crazy price, but it makes it more understandable because I mean this one was kind of expensive. Not that expensive, but it was pretty expensive considering it only came with 6 miniatures. So that's actually pretty cool. But yeah, let me know in the comments if you played this game, how it is. And yeah, thank you for watching. Bye-bye. Bye. Quick side note, after I just finished the video, I went into the image tabs of the Legion miniatures. And I do have to admit, these are way more detailed sculpts than these guys. Which, I know, it's not bad looking little figure, but it's kind of flat for the most part. Except for like the belt and stuff. Paint job's not amazing. Though it was free. Not free, but included with the price. But these sculpts are way more detailed. They got so much more dimension and parts to them, which is dope. But man, like, look at this Boba Fett. Hold on, I have to click on it. Where is it? Look at this Boba Fett. Look at how good that looks. Imagine how long it would take me to paint that one figure, or even these 6 figures to look like that. I mean, that's the whole game right there. It's just painting these guys. Otherwise, it'd be playing with that, and that's kind of boring. Still cool, but not as exciting as this. This just makes it that much more immersive. But that's just it. That's what they look like. Thought I'd include that just for funsies. Bye-bye. Okay, so I know I said the video's over. We're learning as we go. I just started going down the rabbit hole of Star Wars Legion stuff as I ended the video, not thinking it was relevant. But I feel like I should have this open conversation with you as I'm kind of shit talking Legion. It's actually way different than I thought it was. It's like more of a strategy game, and less of a combat game. It's cool because I like that there's different stuff, but I think I actually like the idea of this miniatures better, just because it's more of a simplified board game that you can play in shorter, like 30-minute bursts with your friends. Versus this is like, an hour, 2 hour, or more longer strategy game where you're not just fighting each other, but you're more like capturing objectives and stuff on the map and whatnot, which is it's cool, but it's definitely way more in depth than what's it called? Than My Miniatures game. And it's designed, as this young man said, to be more of a hobby than just a board game. It's like, they want you to get invested in painting miniatures and making them your own, which is cool for Star Wars fans, but I'm kind of lazy and I don't really want to do that, even though this looks dope. Or this looks dope. It's not really something I want to get that crazy about. I kind of just want to play a fun Star Wars board game. It's cool looking figures. So that's Legion. So pretty cool, but I don't really think it's something I would be as into. Hence, bringing it full circle back to my point. bring back the Wizards of the Coast Star Wars miniatures. Let's get this rocking because, whew, that'd be fun. Goodbye. For real this time.